Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Garden Voyeur. It's been a while since we posted, a couple months at least. Winter's kind of hit here in St. Louis, and we kind of just put everything to bed for a few weeks. And I found myself, I think this past week, on YouTube, kind of going through all my garden videos, and even last night I was up until about 3 o'clock in the morning just watching composting videos. So I think I'm ready for the season to start. Last fall, we built this compost bin. It's a 3-bin system. Picked up the heat-treated pallets from a grocery store here in St. Louis that was kind enough to let us have 7 of them. They're heat-treated, not there's no chemicals or anything in them. I did a little bit of research on it, but it's one of those things that you can do all the research you want, and it's at some point you just have to kind of do something. So I tried to find the best available stuff that we can use for the compost bin, and this is what I found. So it's been working great. At the end of the fall season, we had a couple trees cut down. In addition to all the leaves that we had around the property, we kind of gathered them up, and we used I bought a wood chipper, just a cheap wood chipper off of Craigslist, and we tried to chip up as much of the wood as possible. And something like this is a little bit big and didn't quite go through the wood chipper, but the small sticks that you kind of see down here did great. Let's see, all the small sticks went through it just fine. A lot of the leaves that we had, we ran it through, mulched it all up. So we've got 2 piles going, and today what I think I'm going to do after watching all of those compost videos on YouTube is I'm going to take our right pile and our left pile and combine them into the middle. So we've got a few days here in St. Louis where it's going to hit about 60 degrees, and I just had an itch to get out and do some gardening. So some of the things that we've added to the bins, in addition to the leaves and the sticks, kitchen scraps have been great. We keep a nice big bowl next to the sink, so eggs or eggshells, any kind of vegetables that we're cooking, any of the scraps, pretty much everything except for meat and cheese that other kind of the critters around here would get into. But we try to save as much of the scraps as possible, coffee grounds, and then we come out and just kind of dump it out once a week. I have been using the Starbucks, what is their program that they have, that if you just take a bucket in, they'll save all the grounds for you, give you a call when it's ready to pick up. I bought 2 5-gallon buckets from Home Depot, and what I do is I just kind of rotate those out. So I've been doing those probably weekly. So each week they'll call me, or I'll just stop by and see if they filled it up, and I'll just bring it and dump them into one side. Next week, dump them in the other one. So I'm kind of curious to see what kind of cooking action we've got. I don't feel any kind of heat coming off of this yet, but they say to try to get a 60-40, 50-50 mix of browns to greens, and that's all well and good when you're doing the research on it, but realistically, you just kind of throw in what you have, and hopefully it kind of takes off. So I do want to get a compost thermometer, because I just think it'll be fun to kind of see if we can get up to 130, 140 degrees. But let's start turning this stuff around and see if there's anything that is kind of going on deep inside. So here we are with the first pile in our compost bin, and like I said, we've kind of just been adding these weekly. Mostly over the winter, it's been kitchen scraps, coffee grounds from Starbucks, But most of the bulk came in the fall when we were wood chipping. Now the problem with the wood chipping, a lot of the branches and sticks were just too big. So I've pulled those off to the side, and I'll probably figure out a way to get those taken care of. But as the weather got a little bit colder, it got harder and harder to get the wood chipper going. So the last time I actually got it going, we got about 30-40 minutes of action, and then it quit on me and I couldn't start it back up. So I'll need to kind of figure out what's going on with it. I hope I don't have to take it in, because to get it fixed probably costs a lot more than what I paid for it. But anyways, let's see what's going on here in our pile. And I'm just gonna kind of take this off layer by layer. And you guys can kind of see there's some onions, eggs, coffee grounds, of course sticks and leaves. I'm just gonna flip it over into that middle pile. And we've had some snow in the last couple weeks, so we've got a lot of water in here. I don't think necessarily it looks waterlogged. They always say to try to keep it like a wrung out sponge, but let's see. It smells fine. It smells like coffee, actually. And you can kind of see as we get closer to the middle, nice and dark, and some things have already started kind of breaking down a little bit. I still have some of these bigger pieces that somehow either made it in without getting them cut up. You know, the kids and my wife, they'll come around, they'll find things around the yard and kind of throw it in, so they don't get broken down as much. I'm kind of feeling in here, and it actually just feels cold. So I don't know how much action is going on, but let's go ahead and keep going. Yeah, there's a whole carrot somebody had thrown in there. Don't see any worms. Maybe it's been too cold and it hasn't gotten going yet, so we don't have any worms up here at the top. But the lower I'm going, the smaller the particles, the smaller the pieces are, so that's a good thing. But as I get this flipped around, I want you guys to take a look at some of the video that I did back in the fall with my oldest. He was kind of, we let him feed the sticks to the chipper, and you can kind of see what we were doing at the beginning, and then I'll get this stuff taken care of. All right, as you guys can see, we've got to the bottom of the first bin. You got a really nice dark matter here at the bottom. No signs of any kind of worms. Got some compaction just because I haven't been turning it over the winter. I got some eggs. See some eggs here. Eggshells. Haven't really broken down yet. I don't see any kind of worms. The ground is kind of cold. Again, we're in the middle of winter here, so I don't think we've had any kind of significant cooking action. But you know, hopefully by getting this turned, and it'll ignite something in the next couple days. Hopefully. Okay, here's my youngest son, Will, and he's brought the bucket. Hey, Will, can you take the lid off and show everybody what we do when we get the coffee grounds in? So every week we'll get a call from Starbucks and they'll say, hey, your bucket's ready to go. And I mean, it's a 5-gallon bucket full of used coffee grounds and the paper filters, which are fine. And we're just going to dump them into the middle. We'll go ahead and there we go. And he's just going to kind of pour it on top. There you go. Good job, Will. So we've got that in there, and then what I'm going to do is on the first bin, I'm going to go ahead and turn those over to the middle, and we'll have one big compost pile that'll hopefully get going that we can use this spring. All right, guys, so I'm going to finish up here with the compost, and hopefully within a couple weeks we'll have an update as to how everything's going. Hopefully the warmer weather is just around the corner and we can get back to gardening, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for coming by.